Welcome, Malia Johnston.
Nice to be here. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
40 years.
40 years. The first piece I did of yours was in 2006, and it was Left Untitled,
Oh, yes.
Working Left Untitled.
Working
And I
Left
remember it because I didn't know you, and the very first day you came in, you were like, okay, everyone, we're going to make a phrase of movement, and this is your inspiration. And then let go.
Oh, the
it's,
release.
It's based on that moment. And I remember just being like, what?
You were like, what? You were like, what? You were like, what is she talking
How
about?
do I make a phrase of movement on that?
Oh, right. Well, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I think we had a week or 2 weeks. Was it fast?
Yeah, it was. That was kind of that was a real skill that you crafted over those early Footnote days.
Yeah. Cut my teeth on learning to do fast turnarounds.
5 to 10 minute works.
Yeah.
Within a week.
Yes, within a week.
And I calculated you've made 13 different pieces of work on Footnote.
13 different ones. Okay, cool.
And that's within a span of 15 years as well. Yes.
You were in lots of my pieces.
Yes.
What about, what was it?
Broken by Design?
Broken by Design. Do you know that?
Yes.
Do you know how I came up with that name?
No.
Okay, so Deirdre was at me for a name, and I hadn't come up with a name. And I sat down to have a meeting with Emma Willis because we were talking about another, and I'm like, I can't have a meeting about our project until I get the name out. And she goes, okay, I'll help you. And she gave me a task that they do in theatre, and I still remember this. She goes, we'll get the title out of the front page of the newspaper. I'm just going to circle some words and you put them together.
Oh.
And she picked out Broken by Design. And well, there was a bunch of ones, but I just loved that as a concept because I could sort of see the work. Yeah.
And that work did make me very broken.
Sorry.
You had this knack for tricking you into dancing really hard.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think you still might have that little knack.
Dancing hard out.
By the end of it, you're like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. How did I get here? Think of a work that you didn't choreograph.
All right.
That Footnote has presented over all the years. So a work that's not yours, that's quite memorable.
Oh, right. Empty Land. I remember Empty Land. That just jumped into my mind just now. And then the recent piece by Jeremy, that's just
Modern
God, that's jumped into my mind. Also, some of the solo pieces that were made the year where the choreographers had to choose a famous New Zealander.
That's the year that you made the solo on Jessie Wikirifi Lens Eye.
Yes, that was fun. That was cool. And I think you did it. Were you in a piece?
Yeah, Sarah Foster made a work on me about
Freda Stark.
No, that was Sarah Knox.
That's right.
She did that one. That was Maria. Yeah. And the hoop in the bar.
The
Lady Hawk.
Lady Hawk. Yes. Well, you do look like Lady Hawk.
Well, maybe now I do.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool project. I really enjoyed the choreographer's approach to kind of picking the person and why, and then seeing how that kind of worked with the dancer. Yeah. And also, that was cool.
And that it was a series of solos, but you also
we moved from different venues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like what do they call progressive dinner? Yeah. It was a progressive dance.
Along the Wellington waterfront.
Yeah, I think we were in the museum hotel.
Yes,
where were you?
I was in Circa Theatre.
That's right. Yeah. And then Maria's piece was in a bar. In a
bar. One work that really stands out for me because I wasn't a dancer in it, so I was able to see it from the outside, was Body Fight Time. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was a really special moment for the company and for Footnote of, presenting a work of that scale and of that nature. And how was that process for you?
Yeah, so I was, Body Fight Time started, I think, maybe a little bit independently from Footnote. We did have Francis was in the work. And Francis was in Footnote, so I must have talked to Deirdre about Francis coming on board for that. We did a workshop, and then I guess Deirdre came and saw the showing, and then we talked about collaborating. So my company was going to do it, and then she was like, well, what if Footnote was part of that? So we put our resources together and did a collab together with that work, which was actually really awesome. So the next iteration, we worked with all the Footnote dancers and also brought in
Paul Young.
Yes, because he was big part of our company, and we also brought in Kilda.
Yes.
And
Mariana?
And yes.
Yeah.
No, that's
There's
right.
a photo
So yeah, there was a group of us, and we kind of workshopped on things with that. I used Body Fight Time as a research lab for Choreo Lab. So I had a lot of interest at that point in video and understanding video. I had not used it prior to Body Fight Time, and I had avoided it because I didn't like being confused between TV screens and live performance.
Yes.
So Body Fight Time was my first go at trying to understand the language of video in relationship to building a work.
Yep.
And that's when I first met Rowan.
Really?
He'd just graduated from his course, and invited him not on the first development but on the footnote development. That's when he came on board. Eden was there, and Emma Willis also was there as part of that. So we had a dramaturg, and it was a bigger production. So we had to be very savvy about how we built that production, and that was the beginning of working out that because it was going to be in the Opera House, but we only had, like, as you know,
one day,
and then there's other pieces in that show. I think from memory.
Oh yes, it was in a Made in New Zealand program.
It was,
so there were
other people. So like literally, when you looked at the production schedule, 1 hour to do your plot. So thinking back from that, I had to create a space in which we could do all of that work prior to going into that. So that was me starting to plan how to do that, and that's where we had we had everything in the room. We just built everything in the room so that so that was cool, and that was the beginning of the relationship with Rowan as well, which is
fantastic.
And it was cool to see the collaboration between the dancers and Footnote and the other independent artists.
I also remember the show that we took to Shanghai, Pearlieu.
Oh yes. That was sort of a mixture of things from miniatures, ideas taken from the miniatures and distilled down into different things. Yeah.
That stage in China was the biggest stage I've ever danced on in my life. To this day, I remember having to leave like 16 counts early.
Yes, it was.
Just to hit your mark.
It was huge.
It was huge.
I know. And that piece, again, was something that we had to take in suitcases. So thinking about the design of that, everything had to be packed into suitcases and carried. So I was like, okay, we can't really have a set, but we had the little boxes that we took.
What have you seen change? Like, what's the change that you've seen in Footnote from in those early 2000s to where we are now? And what are your hopes for the future?
That's an interesting question. I think what I've seen over the years evolve is, I guess, the practice, the practice, and I guess the embedding of the programs that started to come out of that mid-2000s period where we had the Made in New Zealand and then the smaller works, and starting to kind of filter down into the difference between smaller work tours and larger investment for those bigger pieces, and kind of like the settling of knowing, you know, those bigger pieces need more time, more resource, longer lead in, whereas but seeing that development of shorter work, development processes where you might be in the studio and you're sharing studio practice, that all started to evolve and start to kind of like settle and become a real feature of the way that Footnote operated. And then out of that coming Choreo Lab as well, which is hugely successful, kind of gathering of dance artists at the beginning of the year to kind of just trial ideas and to be very experimental. I think Footnote has always shared their resource out into the community as much as they possibly can, and to give a platform for the practice of the art form of choreography.
Yeah.
And that has continued to grow. And I guess, one of the big shifts is seeing the changeover from Deirdre and then into your leadership, and then the process of that in between of like looking at how do you take someone's legacy and continue for it to grow and exist. And I think, Deirdre set up such a generous platform for choreography to sort of be practiced on, and that the company was there as a resource for the community to have choreographic practice. So But yeah, I definitely think that in recent times, seeing that shift to longer form thinking around choreographic practice and giving more time to the production, I think that's always
more than 5 days.
Yeah, more than 5 days. But I still think that the 5 days has a place.
It totally does.
It's hard now to put that on on the stage. There's a lot of expectation around the production values and things that the audience wants. So yeah, it's been a bit of a shift.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks for joining us.